Hi, I am an attorney at law in Sri Lanka for 16 years and a solicitor in Australia for 7 years. Today I want to explain an important change in Sri Lankan law about powers of attorney, especially for Sri Lankans living in Australia. A power of attorney is a legal document where you authorize another person to act on your behalf. This may be for a land matter, banking matter, inheritance matter, court matter, or another legal transaction in Sri Lanka. For many years, Sri Lankans overseas believed they always had to go through a very strict process, usually involving the Sri Lankan embassy or consulate. That is still a very safe pathway. But the law has changed. Under the Powers of Attorney Amendment Act number 3 of 2024, Sri Lankan law now recognizes powers of attorney executed outside Sri Lanka before certain authorized persons. This includes a Sri Lankan ambassador, high commissioner, diplomatic officer or consular officer, and in some situations, a person authorized under the law of that country to attest the power of attorney. So, if you are in Australia, the question is not simply, can I sign this in front of anyone? The real question is, will this document be accepted in Sri Lanka when it is presented to the Registrar General, Land Registry, Bank Court or other authority? That is where people often make mistakes. Using a normal Australian form may not be enough for Sri Lanka. A Sri Lankan power of attorney should be drafted for the exact Sri Lankan purpose. If it relates to land, it should include proper property details, volume and folio references where available, and the correct authority given to the attorney. There is another important point. If the POA is executed outside Sri Lanka, it generally must be registered in Sri Lanka within 3 months from execution. The Registrar General's department also requires the original POA, a certified copy, affidavit and identification documents. So my advice is this: do not just download a form and sign it. Get the document drafted properly. Make sure the person signing understands the document. Make sure the attestation method is acceptable. And make sure the document can actually be registered and used in Sri Lanka. As a lawyer in both Sri Lanka and Australia, I help clients understand both sides of this process, the Australian signing side and the Sri Lankan legal use side. If you are in Australia and need a power of attorney for Sri Lanka, get proper advice before signing.